In the first part of this tutorial I left you in this block in which we're going to create the queries to insert the image inside the database. So we're going to start with creating a variable called insert, declaring a variable, and we're going to assign the value of a MySQL query function. And this is going to be insert into, this is our standard way of inserting data into a database, store. Now this store comes from here, this is our table name, so we're inserting into a table here, and we're going to use values. It's just again standard notation for this, and we have 1, 2, 3 fields. This is the ID, this is the name of the image, and this is the image itself. Now this is surprisingly easy. All we're doing here is entering image name. This is the variable we created here, so the name of the image, the file name of the image, and here it's as simple as just image, just image. Because we've got the contents and this is pure data like I showed you earlier, just all the funny silly rubbish that we echoed out earlier, we're just inserting this data inside image. So technically this could be put inside a text field, but obviously correct way, the way that's going to always work is using a blob file type or format for this. Okay, so that's basically it. What we're going to do is we're going to change this into an if statement, and we're just going to say if exclamation mark. So if this does not work, and we just add another bracket on the end there, if it doesn't work, we're going to echo out problem uploading image. So simple as that. And then else, we're going to do something here. And what we're going to do is we're going to echo out image uploaded, the text image uploaded. We're going to also echo out the text your image, and then underneath that we're going to give the user the image. Now we haven't created a way to display the image yet. It's not complicated at all, but the way we're going about it is we're going to use this external file get, which obviously there's nothing in it at the moment, and we're going to use this to generate the image, echo out the image, and we're going to just simply use image source blah 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 to echo out this file and a specific ID. Now the specific ID that we're echoing out, and by ID I mean this here, so remember I said these were unique, we're going to echo out the previous or the last inserted image. That makes sense. We upload an image, the last inserted image is the one we've just uploaded, and therefore that's the one we're displaying to the user. Okay, so we're going to start with a variable last ID, and this is the MySQL insert ID function, and basically this returns the last ID here that was inserted, which will be ours. And then we're going to just echo out image uploaded. We're going to paragraph down, and we're going to say your image. We're going to paragraph down again, and we're going to insert our image here. Obviously this isn't valid code, this is just some text, but I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. It's as simple as an image tag, an image HTML tag, but the first thing we're going to work on is get.php. So let's go over to get.php. This is a purely PHP code document, so no HTML tags required for any forms or anything. And the way we're basically doing this is we're connecting to our database again. Now for speed and tidiness, if you like, I recommend that you put the connect in a separate file and just simply include it here, so we can include connect.php. But for now I'm just going to rewrite out all of this. So I'm going to copy this into here and I'm going to paste it there. So we've connected back to our database. The next thing we need to do is grab the requested ID. Now to do this we would usually say ID equals $_post and then ID, something like that. And because we're using it inside, let's go down, because we're going to be using it inside an image tag here, we need to use $_request, and this is simply going to be ID. You can call this variable whatever you like. This is just what usually shows up here. For example, ID equals, this is what we're requesting. Not from this page, but that's what we're doing. We're requesting it from an image tag, so it's slightly different. So we've got the request of our image. A note, we might need to strip slashes. This is because data can obviously go in, add slashes, whatever, data can go in to here that can be used for SQL injection. In fact, we're going to use add slashes, just like we did, let's go up here, just to prevent SQL injection as much as we can for now. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a variable called image, and that's going to be a query. Now to do this, what we're doing is we're selecting everything from, and by everything I am putting an asterisk, selecting everything from store. Remember, store is the name of the table, and we're saying where ID equals ID. ID being the variable here that we've just grabbed, and that's what we're going to grab from the image tag later. Now I'm just going to take a minute to explain the reason we're doing this, in case you wonder why. If we were to create, let's go down here, if we were to say change the header output, which we're going to do a bit later in this get file, to the document as an image type, so we're going to use the content type inside the header function in PHP, that's going to change the type of the document. And what this is going to do is it's going to get rid of any existing data that's been echoed out. So it will get rid of all of this, and it will just display the image on the page, starting from the very, very top left hand corner. And we don't want that, we want the image to display under here. So we're putting an image tag here, which is referenced from this get file, which is a content type of image. You'll understand what I mean in a minute when we do this, but it's just a way of embedding a file that you've grabbed and you need to change the type of the document for. Otherwise, all we're going to be doing is echoing out our data that we saw earlier, the gobbledygook data. I'll give you an example of this in a minute, just so it's clearer anyway. So we're going to create or reassign the variable image, and we're just going to say MySQL fetch ASOC, if you like. This is just fetching an associative array, and from this we're going to extract the data from here. We just need the image. You can obviously take the name out of it at a later point if you like, but I'm just taking the image out. So what we're doing is we're gaining access to ID, name and image just through the use of this. Obviously we need to put image in. So this is referencing from this here, this executed query here. So now that we have access to the associative array of all of these, so the data in any row and any entry or row, if you like, of any field, we can then specify which one that we want. So image equals image, and then 2 square brackets. This is an array now. This variable is now an array. So I'm choosing image. Now image we've chosen from this. Like I said, you can choose name or you can choose ID, but we're concentrating on the image. We want the image to be given out to the user. So now we can come down. Now, like I said before, the reason we're doing it inside this get.php is we need to change the header type of this page altogether. Now, if we were to just echo out image, now you'll see that this will just echo out the plain text that's stored inside image, which is the load of rubbish. Now, what I'm going to do is just come down and show you the example. What we're doing is we're adding our image source in here. Now image source is going to equal get.php. It looks a little strange because usually you would have an image extension in here, so image.jpg or something like that, and this would be enclosed in quotation marks. But what we're doing is we're using image source as get.php. Now what we're going to do later is we're going to add in a header here, In fact, I'll do it now just so you understand. This is the header function, and inside we're going to say content hyphen type colon image / JPEG. Now this will change the format of this whole page to an image just by modifying the header type here, and then we're echoing out the image. Now because the type of the file has been changed to an image, the text inside, which was the rubbish gobbledygook text, will now be rendered automatically as an image because of this function here and the content that we've given it. So image source equals get.php, which is now essentially an image because we've changed the whole type of this data of this document. And obviously, like I said before, we need a question mark and we need ID equals something. So this could be ID equals 1, 2, and what we're doing now is, let's say we entered ID as 1. This would reference get.php. We'd go to get.php, ID, we're requesting ID, this matches this, and now we've stored the value here of 1. So now select star from store where ID equals 1, and we're fetching the data, and then we're echoing out. We're echoing out image where of the first record. Okay, so it's pretty simple in terms of how it works, but it takes a minute maybe to get used to the crossing between the files and everything. It's exactly the same as if you were submitting form information, so as long as you know that, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Obviously we don't want this as 1, we want this as last ID, which is the last ID entered, which may be 1, 2, 3, even 22. So last ID. So this will grab the last ID here and display the image that we've just uploaded. Okay, so back to get. In fact, no, that's done. So yeah, we're done now. Let's just run it and check that I haven't messed up anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to choose a file. First of all, let's check if there's anything in our database. Let's go back here, store. Okay, so there's nothing in the database. My little red cursor shows me the red cross, or the white cross and the red background shows me there's no data. So I come back here, I choose a file. I'm going to choose site logo, not image.txt, that's the one that won't work. Site logo.png. Okay, upload, and it's uploaded, and it's shown me the image. Now this isn't stored anywhere on my server. This is in fact now stored, if we click browse, it's now stored here with the site logo.png and the blob data in here, and it's telling us it's 3.5 in file size. Okay, so this is working now. All I want to do now, just to finalize the video, is show you what will happen if we don't use this header type here, or header function here. So I'm going to comment that out. I'm going to come back in here and we're going to re-upload this image. So we can start again. Upload site logo.png, upload, and it worked. Okay, so for some reason when I'm coding this out, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way this is going to work. It has to have the content type. Perhaps it's because we're referring it from image source, but there we are. It works either way. I recommend you keep this in there anyway, so I'll pop that back in there just to avoid any future mishaps. So that's basically it. The reason I'm not going into displaying every image that's been uploaded is because it's pretty simple, just using this but with your while loop that will search through your records and display the data that you need, and that's in plenty of my other tutorials, so you should be okay with it. Okay, so that's it. If you enjoy this tutorial or enjoy my other tutorials and you haven't already subscribed, please do. I'd much appreciate it, and thanks for listening.